Alright, so we've already talked about prepared public speaking and how that is related to FFA. And now we're going to talk about parliamentary procedure. And fair warning, Parli Pro is probably no one's favorite subject to talk about, but because it is emphasized in FFA, we talk about it in class also. We're really just going to talk about the basics of parliamentary law right now. There will be a second video that explains all the different parliamentary abilities. There's four main objectives of parliamentary procedure. The first one is to focus on one item at a time, and really that helps prevent confusion, especially if you're looking at a group of, we'll just use our FFA chapter for example, we have 60 members. So if we were trying to talk about 4 different things at once, it would be a complete mess. The second objective is to extend courtesy to everyone, so anyone has the opportunity to speak, and someone should be recognized before they speak. The third objective is to observe the rule of the majority, so this really helps keep unpopular ideas from being adopted. You know, it's not a dictatorship where the president decides everything. Really, the majority rules. The fourth objective is to ensure the rights of the minority. So any side can make motions, second motions, discuss motions, and of course vote on motions. So the fancy definition of parliamentary procedure. First one is a systematic way of organizing meetings, and that it is. It uses very well-defined rules to conduct business through a formal, organized approach. And if you really want to know what all of those rules are, Robert's Rules of Order is the book of authority on parliamentary law. And it's this small book, but very thick book, and it has all of the rules of Parli Pro written out. Let me go ahead and tell you, I don't suggest reading it, but if you're having trouble falling asleep one night, pull that book out and read it. Put you to sleep in 5 minutes, guaranteed. The presiding officer, which in our case, if you're looking at FFA, the presiding officer would be the president, and the main qualities that they need to have is to be fair and impartial. If they have a solid opinion on something and they want to discuss a motion, they need to leave the chairman's station and relinquish the duties of the chair to present a point of view or to discuss a motion, anything like that. The gavel. The gavel is the symbol of authority in a parliamentary meeting. So just like a judge in a courtroom would have the gavel and that represents the authority of the judge, the president also controls the gavel. So there's several different taps of the gavel, and they all mean different things. One tap of the gavel could mean a couple different things. The first thing that it means, that it typically means, is to sit down. Another one is to announce the result of the vote. So once there's a vote on a motion, the president will tap the gavel one time, and that'll be it. Or to adjourn the meeting. So adjourn is a fancy word for ending the meeting. So once the meeting is ended, the president will tap the gavel once, and you're done. You walk out the door. 2 taps of the gavel means to call the meeting to order. This will only happen at the beginning of the meeting. And 3 taps means that the entire assembly will stand on the 3rd tap. Few vocabulary items for you. The first one is an agenda, and if you remember from the officers video, the secretary is responsible for preparing the agenda, and this is a list of what's going to be discussed at the business meeting. The agenda should be prepared prior to the meeting. A motion, this is a way to present a new idea or item of business. Correct terminology to make a motion is I move to or I move that. You don't say I make a motion. You say I move, or either I move to or I move that, one or the other. To amend, so this means to change a motion by striking, adding, or substituting words. So you're changing it in some way, shape, or form. A majority, this is more than half, okay, so one more than 50%. And this is the group that controls the most votes. Now that group can be made up of different people depending on what the motion is, but regardless, if you have a group that is one more than 50%, they are the majority. The minority, this is less than half, opposite of the majority. A quorum is 2/3 of the total membership. So if we're using our 60-member FFA chapter as an example, 2/3 of that would be 40. So we have to have 40 members present in order for the group to make decisions or changes. So you have to have a quorum in order to conduct business, basically. And we will stop there. Parliamentary abilities will be on a separate video. Please let me know if you had any questions about this.